Can you talk more about the separation of mind and body and how mind was attributed more to being something that is male and body being attributed to something that's more female?
Yeah, absolutely. I love this. I'm kind of obsessed with
Hmm.
Cartesian binaries. So yeah, gladly. Um, okay, so one of the questions that I had in writing the book was, where does this deep sense of like self-loathing about the body that about my own body and appearance that I've experienced, and that most women I know have experienced or are experiencing. I'm like where does it come from? Why is it so recognizable to so many of us? And excuse me, we're told that it's the result of unrealistic beauty standards and advertising. And it's not to say that that stuff is not without huge influence, but why does it find such fertile ground? Why is it so, why does it impact and affect us so deeply? And I was just like, there's something far more deeply seated. So I take it back to Plato. And this can be traced at least to Plato, if not earlier. But with Plato, you have this idea, kind of central to his philosophy, of this separation between the body and the mind. Okay, and that's a distinction that is kind of a cornerstone of Western discourse. There's lots of other cultures that don't have that same distinction, that emerge out of different, kind of philosophical and metaphysical traditions. But that's a central tenet of Western philosophy, existing from back then. But if you fast forward like many centuries to just before like the European Enlightenment, and you have Rene Descartes, like a hugely influential French philosopher. And the way that we understand, even if we've never heard his name, we've never heard about Cartesian binaries, the way in which we understand the world, the way in which we've organized the world, and that we understand ourselves and each other, is a direct legacy of his philosophy. So this binary view of the world are categories that exist, like man, woman, black, white, gay, straight, good, bad, perfect, flawed. All of these binaries we've inherited from this dualism, this Cartesian dualism. And within that binary, like one of the categories is always inferior to the other, and there's this hierarchy that exists between them. So from Plato, and then further enshrined in Descartes, you have this notion that within that mind-body separation, European men, come to be, the mind is seen as superior to the body. The body is something that is like subservient to the mind. It needs to be like controlled and disciplined. And it's like, one of the quotes I use in the book from Saint Augustine is like, the slimy desires of the flesh. The body is this kind of like
An
gross
unintelligent
place
meat
of like
puppet.
sin.
I said it was just like an unintelligent meat puppet,
There we go. That's a
which is
perfect.
feels penile now that I say that, but
No. I actually no, but that's the kind of energy. So the mind is the place of the, cerebral intellectualism, lofty pursuits. The mind is associated with rationality and comes to be associated with European men. Women and racialized others come to be confined, like, are kind of banished to the fleshy confines of the body. So in Western discourse, there's like this deep-seated kind of contempt for the body. And then there's also this positioning of women and racialized others as bodies, and European men as these kind of unembodied, rational, objectivity. We're subjective, they're like objective, kind of outside of the body.